What is going on, everybody? Wally here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going over the 1.1.2 potato patch. That is very dear to my heart, very important. I'm not going to go over everything because, again, I've done these before. Not everything to me is important. It may be important to you. I will leave a link in the description below for you to check out the patch on Bungie's site so you can go over everything you want. I'm going to go over the things that I read that are most important to me that I think you guys are probably the most stoked about. And there's definitely a lot of changes in here, so it's a very nice little thing to see right before House of Wolves. Of course, they're gearing up to this month, basically going into the next month for House of Wolves, so it's going to be sick. I'm excited. So starting off right away, we're talking vault space capacity has been increased. Now, I don't think it's enough personally per se, but the old school mentality is that beggars cannot be choosers. So I'm going to apply that here and just say thank you for giving us more vault space. It may not be enough, but that's fine. Of course, they're adding colorblind support, which is interesting because games like Battlefield and a couple other games now have started introducing this to some of their schemes. And it's very interesting because I personally don't suffer from color blindness, at least that I know of. But I know that changing some of the color schemes has resulted in me sort of seeing better on certain maps. So it could be useful. I'll fool around with it. You guys are going to have to let me know how you think about that. I think that's kind of cool. The audio controls now, you have an option to sort of turn off audio, turn off music. Again, for me, that's not a huge problem because whenever I'm playing, if you guys have seen me in the stream, I'm generally always listening to music anyway, and the game audio is so low that I can't hear it. But that's just me. I know some people love the game audio, but they don't love the music per se, what have you. So it's a good, nice little change. The item lock, of course, is there for people who don't understand how the X button works. I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but of course, there have been some problems where apparently pets or small children or a mix of both will disable your favorite weapons, which sucks. So I understand. I think it's a good, nice little change in there to prevent that, which is very cool. And of course, they're bringing back the purple ball in the tower. So if you wanted to play Foursquare or badminton, you now can with the purple ball, which is nice. Hopping down to the general fixes, they've fixed a couple of the weapons here. Not gonna go over everything here because I don't use the Fourth Horseman or the Pocket Infinity. Again, if you do use those two weapons, I apologize, but you know, you can go over some of these things yourselves. They've changed some of the perks. Again, doesn't really matter to me because I don't really necessarily use all these ones. The biggest one is the White Nail perk no longer triggers on immune targets, and that more or less applies to the Devil Walker tank. So if you're like me, you run into Septic's Prime, you will just spam shots at his leg the whole time. You can sit there and proc off that immune little pop-up, and it counts as a White Nail proc. So they took that out. So it kind of sucks. Means you kind of got to place your shots a little bit more, but you know, whatever, that's fine. They've done a lot of things to the world. Obviously, players can choose to wear their helmet in social paces. So for me, I suffer from male acute baldness at a young age, and it's a thing that's very close to my heart. A lot of people make fun of me for it. So in the tower now, I'm just going to wear my helmet all the time. No one will know. No one will know. Also, you can fund my Bosley charity fund for me. The link will be in the description for that. So if that is something you feel inclined to do, please do so. Hopping in, they've changed some of the things here. Some of them are minor glitches, not really a huge issue. Fixed a bug where heavy consumables were not available for purchase from Xur. So what I understand is that Xur will always have heavy now. You can trade in for strange coins, which is very, very economical. It's much better than buying it with Glimmer, so that's good. They did a couple changes to Valis to Ark. So his shield change has been reduced, or strength has been reduced by 33%, so basically a third. And Dust Palace, I don't have that strike, so it doesn't apply to me. But for the PS4 guys out there, I'm sure you guys are pretty stoked about that. I don't know. I've seen it, but I've never ran it, so I don't really know how much that affects me. They've taken a look at some of the things here in Vault of Glass. The biggest one is improved issues associated with walking through the teleport. And sometimes when you're walking the teleport, if 2 people or 3 people go through the same time, only one person gets put through, and that person will stay and just walk through the other side and stay on Venus or Mars. So it's a nice little change, definitely something that's nice to see. Again, doesn't really affect too many people because most people, I think, understand how that teleport works now, and they will go one at a time. But it's a good change. It fixes some of the problems. Crota will now fully stand up before a sword attack. This is on Crota's end, and I think this is very useful. I ran Crota last weekend with some of the guys in the community group, and that happened to one of the guys. Crota just stood up and just mauled him right away with the sword. So it's nice to see that that will not happen. The sword will not despawn anymore after killing a sword bearer. This is an issue I really only saw during launch of Dark Below. I haven't seen it since, so it's nice to see that maybe if it is still an issue for some players, they've decided to fix it. Then, of course, there's some PvP things here. Don't really mind too much. I mean, they're dropping Blind Watch and Firebase Delphi and sort of the weight, which is good because those maps do come up quite a bit. But they don't come up often enough for me really to worry about it. So, you know, it's sort of a hit or miss thing for me. But, you know, you may like it. They changed some of how some of the bounties work here. So stopping power, target practice, and electrocutioner are no longer sprees, which is very useful because the sprees are pretty nasty. They're not fun to get sometimes. And I understand, like, you know, electrocutioner I would never do, even running fusion rifles. I think I did it one time. So it's a bounty that is annoying. They did some things here, from what I understand. I don't understand what the kill volume on Open Edge A Cave to keep players from hiding. I don't understand exactly what that means. It could be something to do with spawning. I'd have to do my research on that one, so I apologize. I can't really explain that one to you guys. I wish I could, but I can't. Obviously, the ammunition changes, and this is the biggest thing, and I think this is where a lot of people are maybe going to be interested, or maybe some of the hate's going to drive in. I know a lot of players out there love playing with their shotguns, and me personally, I'm a big sniper rifle player, and I love just playing, not necessarily back with it, but playing defensively on certain maps. And so I guess that is playing back with it. But they've changed sort of how much special ammo you get. Guardians no longer drop special ammo on death. They've lowered the amount of special ammo from crates from 50% to 25%. Special ammo crates have respawn time changed from 45 seconds to 120 seconds. That's a huge change. And of course, they've increased the drop radius for friendly pickups to sort of culminate for that, or allow players to sort of acclimatize to the fact that there's going to be less special there, so they can have an opportunity to still get it. And then, of course, they've changed some of the crates around. They've reduced some of the crates. Player special and heavy ammo bricks now despawn when a player dies, and they're on a timer. So you have about 20 seconds for special and 30 seconds for heavy. So that sort of removes the meta of the Crucible game, where I know some players would wait when heavy came up to allow the players with rockets or the initial heavy fight to sort of alleviate and move away, and then certain players would then pick up their heavy after that point, and then another round of heavy, I guess, fighting or heavy ammo fighting would take place. And the reason they've done this, from my understanding, is because they want that heavy ammo time, or that heavy time on the map, to be more noticeable, so that you can expect it and you're not kind of caught off guard that this guy still has rockets or something, or how does he still have LMG, something like that. In my personal opinion, it's going to make Field Scout much more useful on all of your guns, especially your specials and your heavies. So if you have weapons with Field Scout on them, I really recommend putting those on and making good use of them. Then they made some changes to UI mode, but the biggest one, and this is the one I'm most excited about, players can now click the left stick to hide the UI when inspecting items for screenshotting and sharing purposes. So that's very useful. I'll have to figure out how that works, but it could be useful in getting footage. The biggest reason I don't get footage for some of the lore videos is because some of that UI is so just intensive that it sort of takes away from what I'm trying to get at, sort of the essence and the environment of the game. So if that's possible, if I'm able to screenshot more often, I will get screenshots for you guys more than just pulling up a Google search of whatever it is. Then, of course, they changed some of the audio issues, some of the companion stuff, and then the technical stuff right there. But that is pretty much, all in all, a great patch. I'm really excited. I'm going to get in and play it today. Right now, I'll be streaming probably later tonight, so if you guys want to come in and check that out, feel free. But as always, guys, I'm going to be working on upcoming content, lore video this weekend. And then as House of Wolves sort of ramps up, I'm going to be continuing to put out as much content as I can. I'm not going to any special Bungie event or anything, so I don't think I'm going to have any good House of Wolves footage for you. But I will try to guide you guys in a good direction of people that will have it. The boys over at Planet Destiny will have some House of Wolves footage for you, most likely. So keep an eye out for that. But that'll do it for me, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm out. I love you all very much. Peace.